Most home buyers just spend 20 to 30 minutes in the house before deciding that they want to put an offer on their house. And that's not enough time spent on one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. A 2022 Zucasa survey found out that 60% buyers after closing on their properties found out issues like mold, stains, damaged roof, and some of the equipment's also not working. Let me tell you something. Looking at this fancy staging, nice kitchen, nice accent walls is not the way to go. And after working with tons of clients, I always tell them not to focus on these pretty things. Today, I'm going to walk you how to look at a property like a pro. I'm going to share with you real life examples, real life red flags, and what to do before, during, and after your showing. And let's make sure the house you're buying is not a lemon. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harpreet Singh, a former financial advisor turned into real estate agent, helping clients buy, sell, and invest in Durham and close by areas. And if you want to book a 15 minutes call with me, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description below. Buying your house is the one which involves the most amount of money, most amount of commitment, and is one of the purchases where it's very tough to come out of it once you buy it. And that's why it's very important you spend a lot of time looking at the property before, during, and after. So before you even go and take a look at the property, it's very important for you and your agent as well to do your homework, which is more important than you seeing all the shiny things on the tour. Number one step is analyze your listing photos of the property that you like. If there are no photos of the basement, laundry area, or some of the important parts of the house, there could be something hiding there. And you have to ask yourself why. I had a client in Whitby who really liked his house and was missing photos of the basement. And when we went to see the basement was unfinished, which is okay, but there were also mold in the basement. And if the picture was there, people would have not gone to see the house. And things like this sometimes can cost you thousands of dollars. And easy mold removal in your roof attic can cost you anywhere between $2,000 to $8,000. Even according to Home Advisor, water issues and mold issues, which sometimes cannot be identified very easily, are some of the issues that a lot of home buyers regret after buying their house. Step 2 is research the neighborhood. We all have access to Google Maps. We all have access to numerous sites that can also help you to make a sound decision before you buy that property. Look at Google Maps and try to get an understanding of the neighborhood. Check walk score, check crime score. There's a lot of local websites by the Durham Police Region or Toronto Police Region where you can find out that area has high crime rate or not. I'm going to put a link in the description below that you can use to find out the crime rate for your area as well. If you're someone who's buying a condominium, it's actually very important for you to understand what is being built around your condominium. I had a client who was looking to buy a condominium last year, and when we went to check out the unit, we realized by checking the city development plans and city development website that there will be a future 50-story building coming up right in front of his unit. What it means, his view would have gotten blocked. Not much appreciation because no one wants to buy a condo in front of the building where a lot of construction is happening. And of course, people appreciate forever unobstructed views. Like everyone says, precaution is better than cure. That's why it's important that you spend time on all these websites. You spend time on understanding what's happening around your neighborhood. Let's say if you're buying a house and you see a huge piece of land which is empty behind your house, that could be a future plaza which is coming up. So then you have to ask yourself, are you okay living in a house with a plaza in your backyard? Step 3, prepare a list of questions for your agent for him to ask the seller's agent. How old is the house? When was the roof changed? If you're buying a bungalow, when were the windows changed? Is the foundation a concrete foundation or block foundation? Your main mechanical systems in the house, your HVAC, your furnace, hot water tank, AC, when they were last serviced or when they were last changed. Because if they're towards the last leg of their life, these are costly equipments and all of them can anywhere cost you between $10,000 to $15,000. And one more question you should try to ask the other side is, why are they selling the house? If it's an investor who's trying to selling the house or there were tenant issues, some of these things actually can help you decide if you want to go ahead and buy this property or not. For example, I had a client and he did not want to buy a tenanted property because that property was tenanted for a long time. And he knew if something comes up, the landlord might not be willing to fix it and the property might not have been kept in a good condition. That's why he stayed away from buying those type of properties. Not saying all tenanted properties are bad, but you have to do your own share of due diligence and you have to feel comfortable for yourself before you put that offer in. And that's why having answer to all these questions will help you make a sound decision. So now you're at the property in person. Make sure you bring your notepad to take notes, a flashlight, and also try to make videos or photos of things that you might find unusual to later maybe ask the seller or his agent. According to CBC News in 2023, undisclosed mold was the number 2 reason of buyer lawsuits in Ontario. So when you're walking around the house, sniff for mold, look for moisture buildup in your windows, look for yellow or brown stains on the ceiling, around the toilet seats, and also look under all the sinks. You might see potential water damage that has happened a few years ago or might be active at this point as well. These are some of the due diligence that you can do before even the home inspector comes in. There's one really important question you should ask your seller if you're buying an older bungalow built in 50s, 60s, and 70s is if the wiring is aluminum wiring, because those wirings are very expensive to change. And if you were to change the wiring for the whole house, it could cost you anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000. Not saying that those wirings are not safe, but they have to go through some sort of remedy before you can use them. The reason people are scared of aluminum wiring is because they are easily prone to fire damage. And that's why sometimes, even though we have remedies available for aluminum wiring, and I have clients who are living in those type of properties, sometimes as a buyer, you might not feel comfortable, and that might not be the right type of home for you then. If you think that is the house for you, it's okay to be excited, but I would still say you have to calm yourself down and take a look at all these red flags I've been telling you about, because this will help you to avoid any future pain. After the showing, you know that you like that house enough to put an offer. I always recommend my clients to go by the house, probably in the evening, just take a walk around the neighborhood and see how you feel. You will be surprised to understand how much you can get to know about the neighborhood. For example, if you're walking around and you're seeing a lot of cars parked in front of every driveway, that could potentially mean that they're mostly basement units rentals or mostly homes are rented out in the area. So you as a home buyer who is looking to buy the house for themselves to live in or for their family might not want to live on a street which is full of tenants. And you always have to think long term. Let's say you're looking to buy a house in the Seaton area of Pickering. Right now, there might not be enough plazas or schools in that neighborhood, but that community is growing and future schools, future plazas are coming up. It's a brand new community, younger families. So then you have to understand that, is that what I want, or do I want to be closer to all the communities and all the parks and all the plazas? A lot of time when people buy homes, they also regret buying homes 30 minutes driving distance or 25 minutes driving distance from the GO station. So if you're someone who's going to traveling to downtown, distance to GO station is very important. And in those cases, you should try to minimize your distance to at least 10 minutes. Once you have done your research, you can sit down with your real estate agent and you can put a very strategic offer like in today's buyer's market. And you as a buyer will also feel very confident and comfortable when you're putting an offer, because you already know what the potential issues can be with the property, and you can firsthand negotiate those issues with your offer. And you can also do a home inspection, which if it further discloses more issues, you can always go back to your seller and ask him for more discounts or potentially fix those issues. You should never leave everything to the home inspector. And that's why having a good real estate agent who has an eye for good workmanship, who has an understanding of construction, can also go a long way. One tip that I would share with you here is, if you're buying a house which seems like has been recently renovated, you should go back and ask your real estate agent to look at the previous pictures to see if the work which has been done is a merely makeup or is it good construction. Because sometimes even a home inspector cannot find out what's hidden behind the walls. And that's why all this due diligence is very important, from you taking a look at this picture and going to see the house in person and then drafting your offer based on all the problems or issues you might have found with the property. There are a lot of times there are no issues with the properties or very, very minor issues with the property, which is okay. But as a buyer, all this procedure and all these steps will make you feel more comfortable. That's why you're not just buying a house, you're buying a neighborhood, you're buying a location, you're buying a property which could be easily sellable in future and can also offer you appreciation. Because when the excitement fades away, the age of roof, the broken flooring, all will come to your mind and it will make you feel stuck. So if you're someone who's planning to buy a house in the next 6 to 12 months, I've also made videos on 5% versus 20% down payment, how to figure out what's your negotiables and non-negotiables. Please go ahead and watch those videos and hit the subscribe button.